This conference will now be recorded.
So before we get into the subject and we discuss something about the subject and the course, so can we start introducing like a couple of them? Like, I just want to know who are new to this testing industry or who are new to this automation testing, so that we can plan the course accordingly. Can anyone start introducing themselves so that it'll be easy for us to understand at what point you are, and it's easy for me to pick it up.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, Dheeraj, you can start, I
Hi,
guess.
hi everyone. My name
Sure.
is Karthik, and
Yeah,
I'm
Karthik.
working in Capgemini, and I have
Mm-hmm.
2 years of manual testing experience, and I'm fresher to automation.
Okay, that's great to hear. That's good to hear. Yeah, the next one. The next one, Dheeraj or Suchi or Pramila, Trupti, anyone.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Pramila here. I'm from Virginia. So I do
Yeah.
have a performance testing experience using LoadRunner, and I do have a manual testing experience as well. I just want to know. I'm planning to move to the automation, so I'm trying to learn Selenium with Java. That's all.
Nice. Good to hear. Good to hear. So how about others?
Hi, Dheeraj here. I'm
Yeah.
in London,
Yeah.
and I have a couple of years of experience of manual and some here and there hands-on on automation, but not completely.
Yeah, Suchi, you can go ahead.
Hi, this is Suchi. I have a manual testing experience. I have taken a course, I think like 2 years ago on automation, but wasn't able to complete it. So I'm trying to get back into automation.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Anyone into the IT industry for the first time? I hope everyone is into the IT industry. It's okay. You can talk it. No one is gonna judge you here or hit you here. You can talk. I assume that most of the people are from IT background, currently having working in IT jobs. Yeah. Trupti, you can introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, good morning. So I have 10 plus years of experience into QA testing. I mean either as a functional as a performance testing. So I want to learn the Selenium Java. So that's why I chosen this course.
That's great. That's great. Anyone else?
Hi, hi
Yeah.
everyone. This is Ramya. I'm currently working with HCL in Bangalore. I have total of 9 years of experience and with performance testing. So I want to learn automation. Thank you.
That's great. That's great to hear. Yeah. Anyone else before we get started? Anyone else, guys? We have a VP around. Prashanti, the new joining, or Vikrant.
I think there is a lot of echo from the background. I don't know from whose side.
Uh, I don't hear any echo actually. You're getting still the echo, Vinod?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Okay.
There is a TV background.
Now it's okay, Vinod?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah, thanks.
Hmm. Okay, let's get started. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes.
So let's make it a like my classes will be more on the interactive side of things. By the way, my name is Rahul. I'm into this automation industry for past 9 years. So even like you guys, I started with manual testing like couple of 1 or 2 years, and followed by I started working on automation testing. So this is in short about me. So coming to the next topic that we are gonna discuss is uh, why automation testing is important. Since most of the people have chose to come into automation for whatsoever reasons, but can anyone say why automation testing has become the most important thing as of now? Can anyone say about this?
To reduce the manual effects.
Okay, and what else?
There are other reasons. Like whenever there are releases happening, so if you want to do a couple of test cases, I mean, like there are a bunch of test cases we need to execute, right? So to do manual testing it's very difficult. So instead of that, we will be doing an automation on a faster basis, and even to find the bugs when for the every release, something like that.
Okay, okay, okay. How about others?
Automation came into picture mainly because of regression and retesting, I believe. Because for that we need to repetitively need to test the cases which are already tested. So for that, if you do the manual testing, there may be, because of the continuous repetition of executing the test cases, there may be errors because of multiple times. So definitely there is a need of, since we are already done the process, we are doing it again and again. So for this, I think automation came into picture to automate this repetitive process to avoid this one.
Nice, nice. That's really good to hear. I would love to hear this. I would love to hear some other answers from others. Can anyone tell?
Reducing the manual errors and saving time.
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's absolutely right. How about others? How about others? Why automation testing is so important?
This will increase the means test coverage by giving the better results compared to
Yeah.
manual testing.
Hmm, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. I'll definitely watch for it. So anything else, guys?
So it's more of like complete change in approach to test, where now we are moving more towards left. When I'm saying left, is like more getting closer to the development team in order to have the repetitive, as everyone mentioned, like the suit need to be executed more frequently, with more number of builds happening, might be like uh, more sooner as compared to earlier when it used to be quarterly or monthly installs. Now it is like more frequently builds are getting generated, and the testing need to be performed more at the granular level.
Nice, nice. That's a very good answer. That is where the organizations are heading towards. And on top of it, the most attractive point for any service delivery manager is it saves cost also. How many of you agree with me that it saves cost also?
Yeah, yes, correct.
That is the most attractive thing for any company, because if some tool or some process is allowing you to save some budgets, which company would say no? Yes or no? So what can you depict from this image? Considering this is the situation when the product is about to go live in the market. So most of you know when the product is about to go live in the market, you know how much work will be there for and stuff. So can anyone describe this image about how it is what it is trying to infer us, what you're trying to understand from this image? Yeah, anyone can tell, that's not a problem.
When it comes to manual, it is showing like that manual, I mean, sorry, the execution time will more. When it comes to automation, it is faster basis.
Hmm. Nice. How about others? Yeah, Pramila, Trupti, Karthik, Dheeraj, Ramya, Suchi. Can anyone discuss about this?
Automation guy is playing with all the devices with the picture it depicts, and the manual guy is sitting at the desk and doing the same work.
Yeah, that's great. Here, no, we are not discouraging anyone. We're just telling the life of a manual tester versus life of an automation tester when the product approaches go live. Yeah, Ramya, Suchi, Naima, Vikrant, Chandramali. Anyone can say about this? Yeah, Suchi, go ahead. I couldn't hear you.
Can you repeat the question?
So, are you able to see the image on your screen?
Yes.
Based on this image, what you're trying to understand from this image, or what is it trying to infer you?
Hmm. It looks like the manual person is doing more of repetitive work and then he's working around the clock. The automation
Mhm.
person, once the code is developed, he just has to click the button and it's going to run.
Nice. That's a good decipher. That's a good deciphering. Good decipher. So, what are the advantages of automation? As you guys discussed, it's reliable because it performs the same operations each and every time that they're in, thereby eliminating human error. Another thing is repeatability. Sorry, my cat. So, repeatability, enabling the capability to test how the software reacts under repeated execution of same operations. It's just like now the situation is like if I log into the application 100 times back to back, how the software reacts. Or if I try to make 100 different payments for the same customer, how the software reacts. Whether the application will break down from any point of time or something like that. We don't do such kind of things manually, but with the help of automation, you can achieve this kind of testing also. Comprehensiveness provides the ability to build a suite of tests that covers each and every feature in the application. Someone told the better coverage. So this is also one advantage of automation. It provides the ability to build a suite of test cases that covers each and every feature in your application. Better quality software. We can run more test cases in less amount of time with reduced team size. This is also one of the eye-catching points for any project manager or a service delivery manager. We can run more test cases in less time. Time is always a very big metric for the service delivery manager, and also with reduced team size. This is another attractive catch point from a stakeholder standpoint of view. Reusability. We can run the same test case on different, we can run the same suite on different applications, different versions of the applications, even if the user interface changes. By this, we can get to know what are the major changes that have happened from one version to another application version, and what should be done to bring the uniformity across all the versions of the application. Got it? Fast. Automated tools run significantly faster than the manual process. It's just like once you prepare a script with respect to automation testing, it runs so fast that you cannot even see with your naked eye what has happened in general. And cost reduction. Result of reduced team sizes realized by productive gains. Like when you say the word reduced team size, obviously the cost incurred on the project will be pretty less compared to a normal testing team. Clear? Is this clear, guys? Vinod, Prashant,
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Ruchi, Ramya, Karthik. So programmability means what? It provides the ability to program sophisticated tests. Like the beauty of automation testing is sometimes it brings out the hidden information. Like it brings out something new from the application that you never know. It's just like you feel like the application logging is happening properly like a normally. But sometimes what happens internally when you put too much load onto the application, what happens sometimes due to huge amount of load, the login takes a lot of time for it to happen. If you see them internally, there's some routing issue or some core issue that is unable to take the load properly. That could be one of the reasons. Yes or no? Clear? Clear, guys?
Yeah, clear.
So wider test coverage. Again, the another advantage of automation is wider coverage. We can cover large number of complex automated test cases along with their executions repeatedly over a period of time. Accuracy. We can execute the test cases with greater precision and lower errors than manual testing. Resource optimization means what? Frees the testing resources from the execution of software builds that are frequently given by the development team. Like what happens? We are continuously they'll be the development teams gives a new build to the product. So it is very difficult for a manual tester to run a smoke suit for each and every build. So there the automation comes into picture. Once you build a robust smoke suit via automation, then what will do? The DevOps team indirectly will trigger the script again, trigger the script once the build is completed. Correct? Understand? Got it, guys?
Yes.
So, hope you are able to see the graph, right? These numbers are not specific to anything. These numbers are some generic numbers that we have taken out. So, by this graph, what it is trying to indicate us, guys? By these numbers, what you're trying to indicate this, what it is trying to indicate us?
Now, in full regression, in 16 hours, we could execute 1,000 test case, something like that.
Mhm. So there's a lot of time being saved. Whatever suit that we are trying to execute or trigger. Yeah? Yes, sir.
Yes.
So on a scale, just now we have seen on a scale of 1,000 test cases, generally we take 160 man hours. That's around 22 working days. Whereas by automation we can finish in 16 hours. That is 2 working days. That's a lot of difference, guys. When you try to put automation into the scheme of things, it saves us a lot of time. It saves us efforts. It saves a lot of budget. Similarly, if you are running a partial regression suite of 250 test cases, it will take 40 man hours. That is 5 working days. And whereas for automation, it will take 4 hours. That is half a day, half a working day. Sanity for 50 test cases, it will take 8 hours. That's one working day. And for automation, it will take around less than an hour. I hope this image depicts us why automation is very much important in every IT company nowadays. Yeah. What are the top 5 lessons on the test automation? Never ever create a mess of what you're trying to automate. Why? Because without having proper functional knowledge, do not ever automate it. Because with having half of the basic, like having partial functional knowledge, and we are trying to write a script to it, it will be obviously a mess. You're trying to create a you're trying to create a hell out of your life. That's one thing. Avoid complex logic in your scripts. What do you mean by avoid complex logic in your scripts? Whenever you're trying to write a logic, write it in such a way that which is efficient enough, which is easy to understand. Don't write a logic in such a way that is way too complicated for your opposite people to understand. Third thing is 100% automation is never ever possible at all. Even though if a person says that 100% the application can be automated, that means he is not having good automation knowledge or is very new to the automation industry. So just be under the assumption that just be under there's a myth going on that 100% automation is possible, but ideally it's not even possible at all. So this is one thing. So beware of automators who don't understand automation testing. What do you mean by this? If automation testing engineer like us who don't have any basic knowledge about testing, then it is very difficult for them to survive in the industry because they need to know what is waterfall, what is agile, what is a test case, what is a test scenario. These are the minimum things that we need to know before you become an automation engineer. So last but not the least, test automation is a software development process. That means what? We are also developing a software like developers do it, but when the developers do it, we have a software testing team to test the code. Here, for automation engineers, since we are already testers by default, we have to test the code by ourselves, we have to build it by ourselves. Everything is an experience on an honeycomb, and you have to build it by yourself. Got it? These are the 5 lessons or 5 myths or 5 points I would love to say before we jump into the topic of automation, because there are a lot of myths or FAQs that are being asked in the market. So that's why I'm clearing out for everyone. I hope this is clear for everyone. Yeah. Dheeraj, Tripti, Ramya, Suchi, Naima, Vikrant. I hope you're all clear.
Yes.
Yes.
Any doubts, any queries, any questions so far?
No, no doubt.
So if you see this graph, out of the 20 overall bills, can someone explain this graph? Like, since most of us are in the IT industry, what can you understand from this graph? What is trying to say? Yes, there. Yes, are you there?
A cost is keep on
Initially, the cost.
increasing.
Yeah, one after the other, please. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
So the manual cost is keep on increasing with every build. However, the automation cost is like marginally increasing, and the cost remains almost same with the number of builds. So this is what the pictorial representation or the graphical representation of manual versus automation testing.
Yeah. And what else, guys? I mean, what do you understand by it? Initially, the automation cost spent on a person is pretty much high, but over the due course of time, the cost nearly remains the same. Why manual testing cost increase? I mean, the question to everyone is, why does the manual testing cost increase a build after the build? Can anyone answer this question? Why does the cost we see a shoot up in testing cost right after one build after the other? Can anyone say?
Number of regression test cases will keep on adding in the suite, and that's how like efforts will keep on increasing.
Okay. How about others? How about others, guys? How about others? Yeah, Pramila, Ramya, Suchi, Naima. So, as our friend said, ideally, why there'll be increases, more number of hours spent on the testing, regression testing. In addition to that, they'll add more resources when the product is growing live. They'll tend to add senior most resources to the product so that the product goes live properly, in hand and in smooth. So that is one thing. The more you add automation, the more efficiently it is being automated, the lesser the cost spent. Got it? So, so can you anyone tell me how many tools are present in the market with respect to automation? How many tools are present in the market with respect to automation? Yes, I'm
There are
audible.
many tools. There are many
Yeah.
tools. Yeah,
Yeah. Name the
Selenium.
topmost. Yeah, yeah.
Selenium is the most top. I think so.
Yeah, yeah. 1 minute. So, MVP, you asked one question. So does the manual? Okay, okay, fine, fine. It's not answer. Question answer. Yeah. So one is Selenium. What all tools you know?
IntelliJ,
UFT.
Cypress,
UFT.
IntelliJ is the editor, not a tool. Okay. It's an editor,
UFT.
not a tool. Yeah. Now it's renamed to QTP in olden days. Yeah.
Mm.
Next. Next. What else?
Tosca,
Nice. Yeah. RPA. Yeah. RPA. I guess that's it. Automation anywhere. Have you heard these tools like RPA, automation anywhere? Yeah. Yes or no, guys?
No, no, not much.
Hmm. So there's another tool called as Playwright also that is coming in, that has been new into the market. Playwright.
Yeah,
So
TypeScript.
out of Playwright, TypeScript is a programming language.
Yeah, yeah, it is written in. Yeah,
Hmm. So this is a paid tool because the license cost around 10 lakhs per user. This is a paid tool now. Now it's a paid tool, Tosca. There's no trial version for this because it's charging around 80,000 to 1 lakh per user. Even this is also a paid tool. Paid tool. So apart from MNCs, would startups be really invested to spend this amount on the tools for automation? Like if I have a startup company, if you guys have a startup company, if you want to implement automation testing, would you spend that much amount of budget on these tools like QTP, Tosca, RPA, automation anywhere?
no, no.
No.
See, the pros is you will get a dedicated support, but the cons is you have to work according to the lines of the tool. Generally, what happens, different applications have different ways of testing, different ways of writing the script. But if you are working on this tool, you have to follow the tool accordingly. You have to ensure that the application falls in lines of the tool. Ideally, what should happen? The vice versa. The tool should fall in the lines of the application, how it is designed and how is it built. But if you're trying to use these tools, we have to ensure that the application should fall into these lines of stuff. Got it?
Got it.
So what are the three? I mean, remaining three tools are open source tools. Cypress, Playwright, Selenium is open source. Yeah. Why why still Selenium holds an edge over Cypress and Playwright? Cypress supports JS and recently TypeScripting. JS stands for JavaScript and TypeScripting. So it supports JS and TS programming languages and works on Chrome and Firefox only. Correct?
Got it.
Correct?
Got it.
Similarly, Playwright is also of the same family, ideally. It supports TypeScript majorly. Instead of saying JavaScript, it supports TS and supports works on uh, Chrome and Firefox versions. Whereas Selenium allows us to write in multiple programming languages and works on most of the browsers. Correct? In whereas
Okay.
when you're working with Playwright and Cypress, you need to have a Microsoft Visual Studio or a Visual Studio product. See, you working on a Visual Studio or VBNet is one of the biggest things because the software is so huge for us to work on because it'll eat away a CPU RAM that easily. Whereas Selenium is such a tool that it's very lightweight, light to use, and we can use it in multiple environments like uh, Mac also you can use Selenium, Linux also you can use Selenium, whereas Cypress and Playwright it's more on the Windows side of things. Got it? Because they are from Microsoft schema. Playwright is definitely from Microsoft. Cypress, I don't know, but Playwright is from Microsoft definitely. Got it?
Got it.
Any doubts?
What about mobile device and desktop
Uh,
version?
so desktop testing is done either with UFT, RPA, Tosca. That is one thing because these all support desktop automation. When it comes to mobile testing, you can use APM. That's a branch of Selenium. Got it? APM is majorly used to mobile testing.
Okay.
Got it? Got it? Any doubts?
Yeah, got it.
How about
So
others? Yeah, no, how about others? Suchi, Dheeraj, Pramila, Prashanti, Ramya. I hope you are all clear with this. Why Selenium holds a touch above than other tools? Yeah, Vinod, you were selling something. Go ahead.
no, Selenium will not support mobile devices, huh?
No, Selenium supports only web applications. For your information, Selenium supports only web applications. There's another tool called as Appium, which is from a Selenium family that supports mobile automation. Got it?
Got it.
So Appium is one of the most popular tools that is used in the market when it comes to mobile automation. And since it is that is also open source, guys. Got it?
Got it. Same desktop also, no? For APM.
No, no, desktop is for mobile applications. Desktop is
Okay.
something else, right?
Okay.
Hmm. So this is why Selenium holds the edge above all these tools. Because this is one of the common interview questions when you're attending an interview for automation, either at the client level or for a company change. This is a common question that you are always asked because I hope we have some 10 plus years of people or 8 plus years of people into the testing industry, and obviously this kind of questions will be asked in the POC, right? I have so many tools. Why do I need to choose Selenium only? I guess this answers the question, this analytical thing. Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
How about others? How about others? I guess everyone is clear with this.
Yes.
So coming to it, like, let's see the syllabus of the course. Just a moment, guys. Let's see the syllabus of the course. Meanwhile, you have any doubts with respect to this thing? Any doubts with respect to the course and stuff? Anything?
So we are going to cover with Java basics as well. So as I am
Yes,
not
yes,
that much strong on the
yes,
programming.
yes. You're absolutely right. We are covering from Java basics onwards.
Okay.
We'll be starting with the tools installation. Just give me a moment. I'm opening the syllabus for that only.
Okay.
The course content and stuff. So we have discussed some of the topics. What is testing and what is test automation? what is the importance of test automation along with different facts and studies, why Selenium is used. Yeah, just discuss the pros of Selenium, but there are a lot of cons about Selenium also that we'll be discussing later. And how the SDLC lifecycle gets changed when you're putting automation into the scheme of things. And what are the tools that we need to install? JDK setup and installation. JDK is the tool that contains all the Java libraries. JDK stands for Java Development Kit. It's setup and installation. Installation of Eclipse along with IntelliJ tools. Git bash installation. Okay. Then we are gonna cover the GitHub concepts. How do we create a GitHub account? How do we create an empty repository? How do we create multiple branches? How do we clone the code? How do we commit the code? Push checkout. How do we push a fresh project in our local system to Git? I hope most of you know what is a Git, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a repository tool.
Yeah. So how do you perform the same Git commands using the IntelliJ? When someone told about IntelliJ, IntelliJ is a code editor, not a tool for automation. How do you perform the same Git commands using this IntelliJ editor too? Yeah. Then we come to the Java basics. Introduction to Java. How do we create a new class and covering up with basic syntax? What are the different data types and wrapper classes? The conditional versus looping statements, the static versus non-static methods, and how do we initialize the objects, the basics of the constructors and its purpose, strings, arrays, and exception handling. With the Java basics knowledge that you have learned, how do you integrate it as part of the Selenium scripting? And strings and collections is one of the most important topics as an automation engineer, because our life as an automation engineer will revolve around the strings and collections only. It's like a bread and butter. It's a part of your daily activity. What is the importance of strings and collections from automation perspective? What are the different types of string functions that we are present in Java? Introduction to collection concepts and overview of different types of collections and their usage in different places. And what is exception handling? How do we use a try catch block, the finally block? How do you use multiple catch blocks with one try block? What is the difference between throws and throw method? And how do we create a custom exception and handle them? And next comes the file handling. How do we write and read the data from the file? How do we copy the files from one location to another location? And what are the different concepts of file functions? We'll be discussing all these points in our course. Then we discuss about the inheritance, extends and implements keywords in Java, super and subclass, polymorphism, encapsulation, the OOPS concepts, that is polymorphism, encapsulation, interfaces, the this and super keyword. Here comes the setup of Selenium project. How do we create a Maven project and how do we add the dependencies? How do we set up a WebDriver and how do we launch it? What is Selenium IDE? What is Selenium RC? What are the different types of locators that are used for searching the elements? Finding the web elements on the different types of XPaths. How do we handle the tables in Selenium? How do we handle the grids in Selenium? How do we handle pop-ups using Selenium WebDriver? Alert pop-ups. How do we switch between multiple tabs and windows? How do we capture the screenshots, frames, shadow frames? Actions class. And what is TestNG? How do we install TestNG from the marketplace? Annotations of TestNG. Sample test cases via TestNG. Execution of test cases in TestNG. How do we group the test cases? How do we parameterize the values in the test cases? How do we use asserts? How do we use WebDriver event listener, iTest listener? How do we use listeners as part of the scripting? How do we work on Cucumber framework? Because Cucumber and TestNG are one of the most important things that are used in the market currently. A person who is having Cucumber knowledge will be an added advantage for any organization and any company, because this is one of the most latest tools, latest plugins, latest features that is being used in the market. No matter whatever programming language you take, if you take Selenium with Java, we call it Cucumber. If you take Selenium with C Sharp, we call it as Specflow. If you take Selenium with what we call Python, we call it as JVM. But Cucumber is of such significant importance in the current automation industry. Yeah, any doubts? Someone was asking something. Vinod, Dheeraj, Ramya, Naima, Vikrant. How do we create a new feature file and what is the syntax? How do we combine test engine with Cucumber? How do we prepare the scenario and based on the tags? Scenario outline in different Cucumber tags and annotations. How do you create a property? How do you handle the Excel file operations? How do we read and write the data from the Excel file? How do we generate external reports? Because as testers, we need to know how to generate different reports automatically by itself. How do we do API automation, API testing, and API automation? And how do we perform the JSON file operations? How do we write the data? How do we read the data? How do we modify the contents? If something is going way above your head, it's okay, totally fine, because we'll be covering all these points in detail in the future classes. And we'll be discussing about how do we design a framework from scratch? How do we use the GitHub on a daily purpose? How do we use Excel on a real-time basis? And if we have some time, we'll be discussing on JDBC, database connection, Karate framework, Allure reports, JUnit testing, and parallel execution of test cases. So if some topics go way above your head, it's totally fine. It takes some time for us to get the hang and feel of it. So the classes happen Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST. Okay. Any doubts, guys?
Why
Which frame?
Selenium Java? Why can't Selenium C Sharp and Selenium Python?
Sorry, Selenium C Sharp, they use SpecFlow as Cucumber. Like when we say Selenium with Java, we say Cucumber. In Selenium with C Sharp, the popular framework that is used is SpecFlow. When you're saying Selenium with Python, they say Behave. Because in common, they are using Cucumber as a plugin or tool for automation. Got it, Dheeraj?
So, which framework you will be using for the project while we will be doing the hands-on?
See, as part of the training, we are trying to cover with TestNG, we are trying to cover with Cucumber, we are trying to cover with different possible ways. Because at the end of the day, you need to have at least 2 3 options to design a framework. Because if I teach only one way, you will be practicing the same way in your companies or in interviews or in your jobs. So we try to give you 2 3 different approaches so that you can choose which is the best for your company's requirements. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it will be the standard steps we'll be handling, and then up to us to do hands-on on the or find out like how we could get into automation
Yes.
using a particular framework.
Yes, because we are more driven towards giving you more options and more ideas so that at the end of the day, you need to be clear of what you want to do. Instead of doing me the way that I do, I want everyone to have a separate approach so that it will be very easy for me to understand and help you resolve the errors in your approach. Got it?
Okay. And while we'll be having the classes, what would be the mode of like the delivery, content delivery? Will that be one way, or it will be like engagement model, or like a parallel mode of
I pref-
development?
I prefer engagement because I prefer my classes to be more interactive, more talking of where your doubts are. When we having, I feel more like a interactive sessions rather than a one-way session because I expect people to talk. Whenever they are stuck, I want them to raise their hand and stop me in the middle so that I can clear that out. Because if I don't know what you're thinking, since it's online class, I don't know what you're thinking actually. So it's I expect a two-way communication. I hope my
Okay,
point is
thank
clear.
you. Thanks.
I want the class to be as transparent as you can with respect to the subject because whenever you have any doubts, it's okay to stop me in the middle at any point of time and you can ask me. I'll be more than happy to clear your doubts. But keeping the doubts within you is a very big problem. Okay, got it? Got it, guys?
Yeah, got it.
Any doubts?
In case of any doubt or any issues where we will get stuck, whereas the session would be ongoing and we will be suppose at some different topic, but while covering it from the back, in case of any issues and challenges, how that could be clarified or like how we could.
Yeah, post the class. If the doubt that you have is something from the previous class, you'll have to stay back after the class, and we have to figure it out what is what. And else
Mhm.
you have my number on the group also. If you can scout for my number in the group, you can get it and you can ping me.
Okay.
Because some people have this hesitation to talk in front of everyone. Some people love to talk in solace. So
Mm.
I'm giving you
It's,
two
it's,
options, but
it's mainly the rhythm of the class should also not be impacted because
yes,
of
yeah.
some challenge which
Yeah.
I am facing. It like it could be personal, but might be learning for others.
Yes, yes. It's okay, fine. It's okay. Open to talk. That's what the floor is. If the doubt is something related to previous class, the first 5 minutes of the class, I'll be discussing any topics of doubts over the previous class. If I feel the doubt is something of a big to clarify in quick span of time, I'll ask you to connect with me post class, or you can call me personally. Yeah.
Okay, one last question from my end. Actually, when you will start the class? Actually, when I'm saying like, yeah, today's demo you had done, and like, yeah, from tomorrow we're gonna to have topic one started.
Yeah.
From that one.
Tomorrow tomorrow onwards the topic one gets started. Today it's just like an introduction to automation, what are advantages, disadvantages, and why we are using Selenium over other tools, and this is syllabus course content. Because if without knowing the course content, how will you go and approach things? Because I can directly start off with Selenium ID, Selenium RC, or installation of tools and stuff. But you should also be knowing what is happening, what I'm going to teach, right? Yeah, and I don't know, Mr. Wale. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But yeah, you'll be getting the recordings of the sessions. Got it?
Yeah. So are we going to cover all these topics as a session, right? There is no recording videos to be shared, right?
The recording videos will be given to your mail IDs, and
Okay.
you'll be listening from your own mail IDs. And you cannot share it with others, obviously. How can you share your, if you want to give a recording access, you need to share your mail ID.
Correct.
You said your
Yeah.
number is shared in the group. Is it shared in this group?
It's there in the group. You can just search it out for me. I would have put my number in the description. Just check it out.
Sure.
If not, you can ping me. I mean, you'll get it. You'll get it for sure. You'll get it. You just need to see the group participants and description. Got it? Mr. Wale, just now we have discussed this point. We'll be teaching Cucumber and TestNG both. And with the help of this, we'll be discussing with two different frameworks. If you would have just listened the doubt that Dheeraj and me have discussed, that would have been more than answerable. We'll be discussing more on the different types of frameworks, like using TestNG, using Cucumber.
So are we going to cover any live project or just we are showing as a demo project, something like that?
See, in order to cover a live project, I need a live application. So what we do in general is, on a daily basis, we change the website. Like sometimes I work on Amazon, sometimes I take a Flipkart, sometimes I take a website. Like if you people are from, since your people have different sites to automate, we take some different sites and automate a scenarios, particular scenarios. Then we have to scout for something, different automation sites. We take some e-commerce sites. Mainly the automation when you do for the e-commerce site, only your skills will really tend to improve because it is a very faster way to learn your experts in something. Yeah. And Mr. Wale, if you could talk, that would be great for me because the last point is somewhat I'm unable to get it covered. Deployment code building, I couldn't get that point. If you can explain me clearly, I would answer them.
Just want to confirm, is your number 9177080011?
It's ends with 7670876200. Yeah, if you check the description, you'll get it.
So, you mentioned like you'll be the Git will also be part of as part of this curriculum. By any chance, will the CI will also be you will be covering while as part of this course?
The problem with me covering CI is some people use Jenkins, some people use Azure, some people use Docker. I don't know how many ways to learn and teach also, because my company uses Azure DevOps. Trust me, for security
Okay.
reasons. And some companies go for Jenkins, some companies go for Docker. So that's the reason we got stuck. Because if we start teaching one CI/CD model, of course we learn and teach you, but so other people will be like, we want in Azure, we want in Docker, we want in Kubernetes. We
No,
never
no,
know, right?
I understand that is the same concept applied with the test automation tool as well. However, in fact, like with the Git also, but same thing. If time permits and if you think at least one could actually fulfill the entire automation. Now with the need of hour is like CI also comes and that's
Yeah,
where
yeah,
like
I totally get your point, but ideally CI is majorly used when in accordance with DevOps team, because you need to go hand in hand with the DevOps team. Ideally, what I'm telling you is that they are the ones who will
that's
trigger
right.
the suit all the time,
Yeah,
not we. The scheduling we do it, but they trigger the suit on behalf of us. But anyways, if time permits, I'll cover these topics. Okay.
sure.
Hmm. Yep. I hope I'm clear. So we'll regroup tomorrow, guys, at the same time. See you around.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you for, yeah, thank you.
Hmm. So for people who want to talk to me on phone, you need to. There's a my number is there in the group description. If you can check it, you can call me. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.